Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome to Emotional Response. This is Life Coaching with Inc. Ivory, hello, and welcome once again on We are continuing the topic on distractions, and it's a small topic, but a very significant topic in the sense that it's the little things that do the major damage. The major damage. You might look at an alarm clock, hitting the snooze button. That's just a small thing. But the major damage it does is it delays the time for you to get ready, get dressed, eat, and possibly meditate before you go out the door and be emotionally whack and all over the place. It's the little things. So, last week I talked about the external relationships being a distraction and different events and situations being a distraction. This week I want to talk about the internal distraction. The extreme turmoil of emotions that go on internally, that pull us away, that postpone us, that cripple us, that handicap us, and we become totally distracted. Totally distracted. And I have always been an advocate for meditation, mainly because know thyself is one of the biggest rules in life. Know thyself. Know what makes you drive, what makes you do the things that you do. And you should know you more than anybody else knows you. Because it gets a point in time in life where if you don't spend time with you, you'll be consumed by critics' takes on you. And you'll be shaped by other people's assessments. And next thing you know, you're operating in a way that goes contrary to your true essence. What uniquely makes you, you. And I intentionally said that. What uniquely makes you, you. And so you have to understand the internal distractions that go on in life daily. And one of the key things, you'd be like, I'm really not distracted internally. I really have it all together internally. But I challenge you, if you don't do meditation, try to do meditation for a minute. And it shows you how much you can get distracted internally. Because the thoughts that come up, instead of you standing in a quiet, still moment, the thoughts that come up when you're trying to do that will show you how easily you can become internally distracted. You ever been driving somewhere and you know when you get in a car, the reason why you get in the car and where you're going? You start the car and you start driving down the road. You start noticing people, trees, and things. And next thing you know, something that you see triggers an emotion. And you find yourself either taking a little detour off course of where you had to go, even though it might not be important, but you got in the car with one destination in mind. But your emotions compel you to go another direction. That's a distraction. That's a distraction. And you might say to yourself, well, that happens all the time, every day. And I'm not saying it's abnormal if it happens. What I'm saying is you have to take time to manage that. Part of emotional management is not being driven by your emotions all the time. Some things come up, but you got to identify the difference between important and urgent. Everything that comes up that feels important is not urgent. And that will help you calm your emotions down. And you find yourself not doing stuff that you would do when it usually come up. Calm your emotions. Learn to quiet the inner turmoil that occurs within everybody members. Those that have meditation mastered, yoga mastered, they have it less, but they still have it. Because there's a thing in life called unscheduled and unforeseen incidents and situations and circumstances. And you find yourself in things that you didn't foresee. And you have to quiet your members and learn how to not be so reactive, not be so distracted. Because your emotions will allow you to major in the minors. And it's a time for everything. Just because at that point certain things come up doesn't mean at that point they need to be addressed or they need your attention. Take note. Learn to log it. Again, notice, affirm, acknowledge whatever emotion, whatever thought has been conjured, and then log it. What I mean by log it is take time to chew on it mentally and process it and think about your footing. Think about the whole picture. Think about the whole scope, the results, the consequences. Chew on it. Because you want to be known for not being a reactive person, but more so a person that knows how to respond to life. A person gets shot. People that first run to the scene, they're howling and screaming, they're reactive. When the ambulance shows up, it responds. It attends to the person. It meets whatever injury has occurred. And it seeks to salvage what is left of the situation to either preserve that person's body or allow that person to get fight in them to fight back, to come back out of the situation. But ambulances respond. People that first show up in the scene, they react. And in today's world, this is the crazy thing. We're becoming less reactive and more mute. MUTE. And what is equivalent to mute is apathy. Apathy. Showing no response. The opposite of love is not hate. Because love is an emotion, and hate, you would think you get to the point where you don't feel for the person, but it conjures a certain emotion for you to get to hate. The opposite of love is apathy. Apathy. Tangle with me for a little minute. Dive into it. Dissect it. Think about it. Love is a verb. In order for love to exist, you have to go from a noun to a verb because it's such a strong emotion that it stirs up a response. Apathy is a state of being mute where you stop responding. You stop feeling. And in today's world, with situations like that, traumas, people are showing up apathetic. They're not feeling for the person laying on the ground, being in the situation. They're taking their phones out and they're recording. They're taking their phones out and they're posting. They're taking their phones out and they're calling to run and tell it. When a life could be preserved, you could put pressure on a certain body part and prevent it from bleeding out so much. You can talk the person back in when they feel like giving out and giving up. And you cannot get distracted by your emotions. I know I went on a tangent talking about apathy and love, but maybe someone needs to hear that and understand it and pay close attention in this today's world of how people are so consumed to this digital world that they're becoming less responsive in the real world and they're becoming more reactive. A distraction from internal turmoil can be prevented by not jumping on your phone, by not picking up the phone and calling somebody. Only way that internal turmoil cannot distract you is by managing it. And the only way to manage it is by spending time with self. You have to learn and understand you. There is a such thing as quietly crying to yourself just to give an initial response and to think of your footing. I have done it. So I'm speaking from experience, not theoretical. It is okay to cry alone and process life. And then after that, get yourself together and begin to think about your footing. Because what happens is people don't cry or spend time with themselves to get whatever reactive emotion is going on, and they get distracted. And they blow everything on the table, everything out the door. There's a time and a place for everything. And I could pull up many scenarios. However, I want you to take the time out to think about everything that's going on in your life right now. And whatever is conjuring a level of anger, look under that anger and find the hurt. Whether it's misexpectations, acknowledgement, lack of,